Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Tyrrell and welcome back to GP Blog. The Mexico Grand Prix has concluded and Max Verstappen is on top of the podium again, Toby. Thank you for joining me. Max Verstappen may have had an incredible race, but one man who didn't was Sergio Perez, and he is under the pump.
Yeah, that was quite possibly the worst outcome for him, I think, going out at turn one. He managed to get back on the track and get round back into the pit box, but he was retired straight away. I don't blame him for going for the move because, I think he said in one of his post-race interviews, he was there and at least he went all in. He didn't back out. So that's a positive that he's taken from it. But for everyone else and the fans that left halfway through the race, they were not happy, and the outcome was not what they wanted.
No, that Red Bull was absolutely torn to shreds after that collision with Charles Leclerc. And Charles Leclerc got booed on the podium as well. I felt well sorry for him because he literally said in his interviews, guys, there's nothing I could do. I was sandwiched between two Red Bulls, and that's pretty much what happened, wasn't it?
It was
there was nothing
it was a
either of them
proper
could do.
racing incident. It wasn't anyone's blame. Like you said, Leclerc got sandwiched between the two of them, and Perez sadly was the victim of the incident. But yeah, not a great look for the team, and also an awful look for Perez, who really needed a good result at his home race.
He really did need a good result at his home race, and I felt so sorry for him. You could see how distraught he was. I think he felt like he'd let down the team, let down his entire country, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Like it's racing, it's Formula One. And when it's going against you, it's the same in any sport. When it's going against you, it really does tend to go against you. I'm a Chelsea fan. When it's going badly, everything goes badly, and it's really hard to get out of that position. Same with the England cricket team at the minute. They're struggling. They're finding it really difficult, but we won't dwell on that. And now Sergio Perez is under even more pressure to fight for his seat. Couldn't get a result at his home race, and he goes into Brazil needing a result. Again, it's going to be like this until the end of the season, isn't it? He's going to need a result every week.
Yeah, in theory, there's a point that he really needs to win every single race now to end the season, but we know that that's not something that we haven't known for the last 2 months. He's needed to get points out of nowhere, so now he really needs them, but I think it's potentially already done and dusted for him.
Yeah, imagine how close it would be in the championship as well with Hamilton. He had his result overturned in America. He's gone and got P2 and the fastest lap, 19 points. Great race for him. But as you said, you've just mentioned it might be already over for him.
Yeah,
there's a rumour going round.
Yeah, the paddock rumours are properly back, and the rumor mill, is
Rumour mill.
whirring. But yeah, there's not much to really back this, but a lot of people are thinking that Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez might swap. Like I said, there's nothing but cryptic tweets of people saying, "Oh, I've just heard a rumor. I hope it's not true." The Spanish Red Bull account tweeting an emoji similar to how the Mexican account announced Perez. There's a lot of deciphering to do here, but there's no hard facts. But it could be true that Perez is on his way out.
I think I can't see it happening. I think it would be mental. But the one thing that doesn't sit right with me is that there are some credible accounts commenting on it. Now, I think it's Albert Fabrega. He commented on it, and he said he hopes it's not true, what's going around in the paddock. But the fact that he has commented on it, to me, just sort of feels like there is, even if it's just the tiniest little bit of credibility, there is some credibility to it. So I hope it's not true because I love Checo. I love Alonso as well. But stay where you are, lads. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully Aston Martin can give Alonso a better car at the start of next season. Checo can pick up some form, and he deserves to stay there as well, Checo. as we've discussed so many times before, Red Bull don't want Checo to win the title. They want Max to win it.
No, they really haven't helped him at all. But one thing that I do fear, if the swap does go ahead and Checo's having to race in, let's say, a similar Aston Martin that we're seeing now next year, if things don't go to plan, he could easily be booted out of his seat there, and then we may not see him in F1 again. I know that's a really big thing to kind of put out there and put as a statement, but we know how ruthless F1 is, and I think if Checo does move on from Red Bull, or Red Bull move on from Checo, most likely, it could, if he doesn't perform next year, it could be the last time we see him in an F1 seat.
But it would be full circle. We'd be going back to the team that booted him out 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. So who knows? The rumor mill is definitely going wild. Do you think he deserves to keep his seat on his current form? On his current form, no, but
on his current form,
time?
no. But he won 2 Grand Prix at the start of the year, so there's that argument. But as we know from Red Bull drivers in the past, they don't like holding on to them if they're just dead weight, and that can be a very good excuse of how bad he's been to get him gone.
And another question: do you think Alonso or Ricciardo, would they do any better in that seat? Because there's absolutely no guarantees they would. That's part of the reason why Ricciardo left. He wasn't performing.
Out of the two, I think Alonso would do better, just because he's had more kind of recent drives. Obviously, Ricciardo wasn't in a seat for the start of the year, whereas Alonso was getting on the podium, I think. So that's going to be an advantage. But then again, like you said, Red Bull only want Max to win. He's the golden boy. They're not going to help their second driver as much as they help him, and the results aren't going to go the way of them. And I think that's a problem that Red Bull need to deal with, and maybe not be so ruthless on their drivers. But that's also how the sport works. So it's a really tough one.
Quickly, let's fire it forward to Sao Paulo, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Give me a prediction. Can Checo get the result he needs to maybe save his F1 career?
I sadly don't think so. Just to put it bluntly, I don't think he can. I would love to see a Mercedes double podium again. However, I don't think that's going to happen. One person I would like to see do well and get in the points is Alex Albon, because he did really well up until qualifying.
Yeah, and even then, he had an okay qualifying. He got to Q3 in Mexico.
Well, he got into Q3 and then lost his time. That was the issue.
Yeah. And he was struggling a little bit.
Yeah, compared to how he was in the practice sessions as well. But I do think Lando Norris is going to have another strong weekend and will be fighting to gain some points on Alonso and move ahead of him in the drivers' standings.
And Mercedes will be wanting to A, back up last weekend, a good weekend for Hamilton, and B, back up their only win of last season and a double podium for them.
Well, it was a good weekend for George in Mexico as well, so hopefully if he qualifies a bit higher, he'll be able to score some more points.
Yep. Well, Toby, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but thank you for joining me, and we'll see you after the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.